Welcome back, everyone. It is always fantastic to see you guys. I hope you're having a great day or night whenever you're watching this video. Emma Frost is the new recent Vanguard added to the game, and she's been terrorizing both casual and ranked play. On Discord, Twitter, Reddit, everybody's having such a hard time dealing with this character. But me personally, I never have issues with this character. And maybe you're part of my pact. Maybe you don't have issues with this character either. However, a large majority of the player base has an issue with this character. So the goal of this video is simple. Make it so that you don't struggle against this character either, and neither do your friends, because you're going to be sharing this video, right? And liking it as well. Now, of course, you guys know me. There's going to be timestamps down below, but I want to tell you the format of the video. So the first part of this video is going to just be general tips and tricks on how to beat Emma Frost. It doesn't matter what character you're using. We're just going to be discussing how to beat the character. Then after that, we're going to go through each role, and I'm going to give you my advice on which characters are best to counter Emma Frost. Now, of course, I do always say it doesn't matter what character you play. Have a good time. One trick if you want to, but if you're someone that likes to swap or has a few characters up their sleeves and want to know which is best to go against her, that section will be for you. Enough of the chit chat, let's get up into it. So when we're discussing Emma Frost, we want to think of her as two characters, not just one. Similar to Cloak and Dagger, if we go to Cloak and Dagger real quick, similar to these two, you know that when she's Dagger, she's more of a healing and she doesn't really pose too much of a threat to you. But once she swatches to Cloak, this is when she's going to be a threat and she could possibly 1v1 you and get a solo KO. Emma Frost is similar to that. In regards, you can play differently based on which form she has. So, of course, the simple thing is just don't get close to her. And sometimes that works, but you want to learn how to abuse her. You don't want to learn how to just survive, right? So when it comes to the two forms that Emma has, generally speaking, in human form, you want to be in a more condensed location. You want to try to be as close to her as possible. We'll explain why in a second. When it comes to the diamond form, you want to be more further away from her because, you know, she's more of a melee character in this form. Let's explain the human form, then we'll explain the diamond form. So when it comes to the human form, the reason why you want to be a little bit more close and using cover more often is because of how her abilities work. So when we're talking about her primary fire, it isn't instant. If I tap it, it doesn't come out. I have to hold it. On top of that, you want to fight all the time when you're playing Emma. If you hold it, you'll notice that underneath my crosshair, there's a number. The higher the number, the more damage you do. So Emma does not want to constantly keep trying to shoot you because A, it takes a second to come out. B, she can lose her stacks if she loses you for too long. Now, the reason why we want to use cover is because she can't peek walls like other characters can. You see how she has to bring her whole entire body out from behind the wall? This is going to be different from, let's just say, Doctor Strange. How Doctor Strange can peek a wall and still fight you. Emma Frost cannot do this. This is why you can abuse her when she's in human form, because a lot of Emma Frost players, even in high rank, don't really know what to do. You can't do anything. You're literally just unable to play the game because it's designed this way. If you're around the corner, she can't get you, period. That's just how it works. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If she wants to fight you, she has to bring her entire body out to fight you all the time. This means that she's going to be in a really bad position. Now you can't say, well, she does have a shield, which is true. Break the shield. She doesn't have the shield anymore, and she effectively can't fight unless she has diamond form. So first things first, always try to use cover and be condensed when you're dealing with the human form Emma Frost. Now we have the ability called Psychic Sphere. What this does is it brings the crystal out, and she can hit the crystal, blow up the crystal. It's going to do massive damage to you. However, the further she is away from you when she casts this, the easier it is for you to get out. Look at that ring. You can just take a few steps back and it's broken and she can't do anything about it. This means the closer you are, in theory, the harder it is for you to get away. Well, it's not even a theory. It's there, right? It's facts. This means exactly the same as what I just said before. It is in your best interest to play close. This can't go through walls. This can't go through walls. The only way that this would work is if she pops out, grabs your crystal, and then yanks it. But again, if you're in cover and you're like over there, what did we just demonstrate? The further you are away, the easier it is for you to back out of it. So she's just wasting stuff at this point. So when you're playing around corners and playing in compact locations during her human form, again, she can't peek you. The ability doesn't even go through the wall, and she can't fire it instantly. If she decides to use the crystal, she'll pull it, but again, because you're so far away, you can just take a step back and it's out. This means she wasted this ability, and for anyone that is going to try to fight like Spider-Man or something like that, yes, she could still grab them, but realistically, she's down an ability that helps burst. On top of that, if you're playing something like Stranger Magneto, you can just block it, and that's not even a problem for you, and there you go. Now that we got the human form out the way, let's talk about her diamond form. So when we're in diamond form, you have super armor, which means you can't be crowd controlled, period. You can take damage still, but you can't be crowd controlled. Also keep in mind, whenever she's in diamond form, she takes less damage. You can still KO her, but it's just she has higher defense in this form. And of course, you also have to keep in mind, she can weave in her human abilities with her diamond form abilities. So what I could do is I could put the shield behind him just so that he doesn't get any heals. I could take the crystal, do some damage, whatever, do my combo, bang, bop, boop. Y'all know how it goes, right? You do the combo, you can pretty much insta KO any character that she catches, or so you thought. So we know that half of her kit will always be negated, because if you paid attention to the human form, you should never get in trouble with this character ever again in human form. But let's talk about the diamond form. So the diamond form has two moves, right? You have the slam, and then you have the kick. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. There's not really much to it. Now there's an interesting thing that happens when she's in diamond form. When she turns into diamond form, if she does not slam you, she can get 3 charges of her kick. If she does slam you, she can only get 2 charges of her kick. So this is what it's gonna look like. If I don't slam, right, I get 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. I can get 3. If I do slam you, I can only get 2 kicks. So here we go. 1, 2, but I can get 2 slams. Keep that in mind. Now, obviously, most Emma Frost players are not gonna insta turn into diamond when they're in front of you. If they do that, you're really, really close. Usually what they'll do is they'll turn into diamond form, and then they'll just like straight up dash at you, right? And that will eliminate some of the seconds. Sometimes they'll add some punches in. So, you know, you're not always gonna get that, but it's just something to keep in mind. If she slammed once and you already like time the cooldown of like, okay, well, she didn't insta slam as soon as she turned into diamond form, she's probably not gonna be able to slam again. So let's just say, you know, I'm doing a fighting and then I slam now, well, I can't slam again. I'm done. I can't pull it off, right? This is why it's important to pay attention to this. If she insta slams, she can potentially slam you again. If she doesn't, she can't. This is why it's important to pay attention to, and I'm not really gonna go too in depth about that. If you need to rewind the video to understand what I just said about what just happened, please do so. But pretty much keeping track of what she's doing is gonna be how you can abuse her in her diamond form. Now I have a few clips that I made because I wanna demonstrate a few more things that I wouldn't be able to demonstrate in the moment, especially on a dummy. Now I did record this by myself. I had a controller and I had to use the mouse and keyboard at the same time to play on 2 accounts, one on my console, one on my PC. No, I'm doing it for you. I'm just saying it was rough, but I tried my best. So with this first clip, let's just say we're pushing into the enemy team, right? Our team of Emma Frost is coming down just like that, and the enemy Strange is here. Typically, what you're going to do as an Emma Frost, or what you generally see, is your Strange be a little bit too close, gets grabbed, Emma just kicks, and she's still around her team. She's still chilling, right? So let me demonstrate it. So we're pushing into the team here, and you're just gonna, you know, walk up, get the grab, kick you to the team or whatever. And in this scenario, my team is up here, right? Now this is never really a real map, but just try to work with me. In this scenario, my team is still here. I can still get the heals, I can still get the damage, whatever. But in reality, the Strange doesn't have line of sight for his team. This wouldn't be a round corner, it would be an actual like boxed corner, which means he would get pushed into the team and his team can't help him. But my team still has line of sight of me. This is what you want to avoid. You do not want to be kicked behind something to where your team can't help you. The kick isn't necessarily dangerous, and neither is the grab. It's only dangerous when it takes you out of line of sight of your team, especially if she still has line of sight of her team. So how can we remedy this? Now there are a couple of ways that we can go about making this a lot harder for Emma. What you want to do is think about how you rotate. So a lot of the times in this game, it doesn't matter if it's a tank, DPS, or healer, people generally think that running away is always the best option, and it always gets them KO'd. Very seldomly can you run away from any character in this game, especially if you're mispositioning. When you're playing Strange, you're not outrunning an Emma. You could try, but for the most part, she has a dash. Like you're not escaping something that has a gap close. So you need to be more prepared for what to do when you're in the situation. One of the best ways to do that is just rotating. So if I rotate out this way, right, what happens? Well, if she does approach me, she has to approach me while the whole entire team is taking shots at her. Now this is fine because obviously her team sees her too, but it's gonna make her think twice. Why would I just walk out in the middle of nowhere to grab Doctor Strange or anybody? Now you have to assume I'm in cover. Assume that there's cover here. There's no map that this has this much of a wide open area. Usually there's cover somewhere, but just work with me. So she's not. That's not gonna happen. If she does that, she's trolling. So you're able to avoid being grabbed because you just distanced yourself a little bit and played a different corner than the one you're probably used to playing all the time. This is a very, very easy way and effective way to go about it. Make her have to come get you. Don't make it easier for her. The second way that we can go about doing this is going to be what I call body swapping. So whenever Emma grabs you, she's actually body swapping with you. So if you go into a spot that's very, very, very closed off, something like right there, right? She's gonna body swap. Yeah, you snatched me up and you kicked me to your team, but guess what? My team is in line of sight of me this entire time, but your team is not. Again, a lot of people have trouble with a lot of characters in this game. You just need to outsmart these people. It's not like these characters are insane. I mean, they are pretty strong, don't get me wrong. But the character is only as strong as the user. There's not a character in this game that's so strong that someone who's smarter automatically loses because of it. You will always win if you can outsmart the opponent. I do this all the time. There's so many times where Emma's try to get me and it's like, okay, I know where I'm gonna end up. You don't. Now let's flip the situation, right? Let's say we're trying to push into Emma and our team is over here around the corner and it's very hard for us to breach this corner, right? Because, you know, you're trying to force your way in, but there's a lot of corners. How do we do this then? What's gonna happen if you do decide to just straight up push in Emma and she has that advantage of that corner? She's just gonna grab you and then you're gonna get kicked to your team. And at this point you're KO'd. They can't see you anymore, right? The same exact logic as before, your team can't see you. You wanna avoid spots where if you get grabbed, your team can't see you. Yes, sometimes getting grabbed is unavoidable, but that's how every kit works when you're playing a tank specifically. Like you're there. Like there's not much you counterplay. You're supposed to be face to face with each other a lot of the times. So just like Thor, right? If Thor runs at Doctor Strange, I mean, what are you gonna do? Back up? Like designed to just have that 1v1 standoff type of situation. But if we go back, we can get around this by taking a different approach. Instead of running at her and trying to hug this corner to protect yourself, you are gonna have to try to transition into another piece of cover. Again, there's always cover somewhere. If I go this way, my team can still see me. And again, she has to go out of her way to grab me. Whereas this is like right here, oh, I snatched you, boom, free. She has to go out her way to grab me. If she really does turn into Diamond and go out her way to grab me, my team can still see me. So we're not gonna be in a bad situation. On top of that, she's gonna take a lot of damage. We'll just straight up fight her because she's way out of position doing that. So if we look at it, that's what it would look like from far away, right? When she grabs, what happens? Your team has more of an angle to see you. Even if, let's just say, I didn't kick for some reason, I don't know why, but let's just say she kicked you, your team still has more of an angle on you than they would if it were a box corner like that. You guys understand kind of where I'm coming from? So the name of the game when you are gonna get grabbed by Emma is to try to make it so that she has to try a lot harder to grab you. And if you are gonna get grabbed, remember to try to end up in a situation where your team can see you. It's not Emma that's KOing you. It's the fact that you're getting snatched out of position like Wolverine. So if you know how to play against a Wolverine, again, I don't really have problems with that character, but a lot of people do. When you know how to play against that character, he's not a threat anymore. Emma's the same. It's because she's repositioning you that's causing her to be a threat. Moving on to the next clip, this is kind of a continuation of the last clip, right? We talked about what angles to take and we talked about what's the best way to stand. But for this one, we're gonna talk about if we get grabbed, what do we do about it? Because at this point, we're kind of screwed. Well, if you know you're gonna get grabbed and there's no way for you to escape, you want to rotate your body. If you rotate your body like that, that's good enough. Whenever you get grabbed by Emma, your character is always going to go behind the character. You're going to body swap and your camera is always going to face away from Emma every single time. It's not a question about what happens. That's facts. It happens every time. So if you reposition your body, you can avoid getting slammed because Emma's going to turn into a diamond, right? but she's gonna either just insta grab you, or she's gonna try to like wiggle and try to go counterclockwise or clockwise to position in a way so that your body is gonna get slammed. If she does that, well, then just straight up fight her until she grabs you. Like, if because you're not getting away. Remember, you're not getting away a lot of the times. I'm playing Venom, so he could, but if I'm playing Doctor Strange, you're not getting away from her at this point, right? She can grab you because your flight is delayed. So fight her and just kind of counterclockwise and just keep doing that. She's gonna eventually grab you and kick you to no man's land, like you see in this clip, or she's just gonna, you know, keep fighting you, and you just keep fighting her with your team. Okay, so keep that in mind when you do go against Emma. If you are going to get grabbed, and you know you're going to get grabbed, and there's no way to really escape it, try to just go counterclockwise. So that way she's forced to, I wish I did it better in this example, but I wasn't paying too much of attention to how it would look. But there's a wall behind Emma. There's a wall behind me, right? Because I rotate, she's going to have to do one of the two things, which is also rotate back. So if we go a little bit further, because I did this, she's gonna have to, wouldn't it be stupid for her to go left, right? Like, why would you go this way? Where are you gonna kick me? There's no wall. She has to go right, which means that if I know she's gonna go clockwise, I'll just keep going clockwise, right? Or it's just like, what are you gonna do? We're just gonna be looking at each other and hitting each other. Yeah, you're gonna take damage, but it's just like taking damage from Thor. It's a melee character. Your team should be able to back you up. You're pretty much making her play your game. And that's what you want to do. Remember, outsmart the character and you win most of the time. Now that that's all said and done, let's look at this from a perspective of a DPS or a healer. Because obviously a tank, you're going to get grabbed. That we talked about, you know, how to do it from a tank perspective, doing angling corners and all that. But what happens if you're a DPS or a healer and she snatches you up? You're probably going to get KO'd. So how can we avoid this? Now, talking about the perspective for a DPS or a healer, whenever you see the animation of Emma just turning into Diamond, you want to sidestep left or right instantly. Do not go forward, do not go back. If you go forward, what's going to happen is you're going to get grabbed, right? The closer she is, the easier it is for that to hit. It is a very, very big hitbox when you are near her. But when you're further away, it's more of like a skill shot. So you can sidestep it. You don't want to go diagonal. Like, you don't want to back up and go diagonal because you're not moving. You're just effectively going very slow backwards, which she'll just dash and grab you anyway. You need to sidestep, and you need to do it quickly. The reason why we want to do it as soon as the animation happens, so I'm going to show you the animation. The reason why we want to do it when this animation happens is because she cannot use any moves. As you see, it's red. She can't use moves. And on top of that, if you don't sidestep fast enough, she will get you 100% of the time. This is why it feels like you're getting snatched up and it's laggy and stuff like that. It's because what you see on your screen is different from what they see on their screen. And this is for any online game you ever play. This is why dedicated servers are nice, because it minimizes that ping. But for the most part, it's still there. So let's just say on her screen, after she's done with this move, she grabs and she dashes, right? On her screen, she got me. But on Luna's screen, before she snatched, I started moving. And now you're like, how did you get me? I was moving. You weren't. You have to take account that delay, that ping. So this is why I suggest doing it as soon as she turns into Diamond, because that's enough time for you to reposition. Now, she still can turn her camera and still get you, but it's very hard to do so when you're at this distance and you are moving. Trust me, it is very easy to sidestep this ability. You just have to do it before she does it because of the ping. So you'll notice that that's what happens when you're late, but let's look at it. Let's look at what happens when you're on time. We're gonna do the same exact thing. We move on time. As soon as we see that diamond, she can't land it. Because you're a DPS and a healer, you're really, you're faster than the tanks a lot of the time. Now, dashing is obviously different because it's a dash, but you are faster on foot than they are. So don't be afraid to sidestep instead of running away. After you sidestep and she dashes, she's gonna try to chase you, possibly, but you're faster than her. Most tanks are too slow. They're not faster than DPS or healers, especially healers. Healers are fast. So this is, again, what happens when you do it too slowly. I think I can even slow it down and you'll notice that I did start moving. But you see how even though I started moving, it's still registered as being grabbed. Not only because I did it too late, but I'm also very close to the character. This is why you want to space yourself out as much as possible, because that sidestep is way more impactful and effective if you are further away. Now let's show another example. You'll see it even clearer here. You see that? Now I'm in the same house, so like the ping shouldn't even be really as much as it would be if you were across the world. Her hitbox is ginormous. This is why you cannot be close. You have to be at a further distance. If you're a DPS or you're a support, you should never be this close anyway. And for the people that play Spider-Man, Iron Fist, and whatnot, you have so much mobility, you should never get caught anyway. Just time your engages. There's no excuse for you to get caught because your character is so flexible. If you're playing something that doesn't have a lot of mobility, it's more understandable why you would get caught. This is why you need to space better. But if you're playing something that's very mobile, just get better at timing your abilities and you won't ever get caught anyway. Moving on to the next clip, this is very important as well. We're talking about the kick. So whenever she grabs you, she's most likely going to end up kicking you, right? And if you dash, you'll still get kicked. You see how I still took damage even though I dashed out of her kick. But one of the cool things you want to know is that the kick actually has a windup. It's not instant. That is a windup that connects right then and there. So not only is there a delay in the kick, but also Emma Frost players generally do not turn into Diamond, snatch you up and kick you. They usually add a few punches in there or something if they can, and then kick you after so that they can get the full burst damage. If they do instantly grab you and kick you, you're just out of position. There's no way that if you're in position as a DPS or a healer that you should be picked up and kicked instantly and KO'd. You're out of position. Don't be out of position. So if she does try to run at you and do it, she's gonna punch you a few times before she gets the kick so she can KO you. This is why the windup is important. Remember what happens. Whenever she picks you up, she's going to body swap with you, right? And then your camera's gonna flip and you're gonna be faced opposite direction. Most people try to run away from her. Do not do this. What you wanna do is you wanna run past her. Let's just say I got snatched up. I got snatched up, we body swapped, and I flipped my camera before the kick. You'll notice that when it happens, I don't take damage. And she whiffs. There's so many times where I'll play Rocket, where I'll play Loki, where I'll play all these characters that are pretty good at getting away, even DPS obviously, like Star-Lord and stuff like that, where when she does this, she can't secure a KO because you can get away. But I do this every single time. High rank, low rank does not matter. You always have to keep in mind, the smarter player always wins. I know it might seem like these characters are very oppressive and overbearing and all of that, but the smartest player wins. Think about their kit, think about how the character plays, think about how the player plays, and you can outsmart the entire lobby if this is how you play. Now I want to add one more general tip to this character, and that is she is telegraphed. There's a lot of characters in this game that are not telegraphed. As an example, we're not going to say Spider-Man because it's a DPS or Black Panther, but we can use something like Venom. Venom, he's telegraphed in what he wants to do, but once you become a great Venom, it's very hard to know what he's gonna do. And what I mean is I can go in, slam, but you don't know if I'm gonna just jump out. You don't know if I'm just gonna fight you for a bit. You don't know if I'm gonna do this. You don't know if I'm gonna ult. It's mix-up game. When you're thinking about Emma Frost, there's no mix-up game. It is telegraphed. If she crystals you, best believe she's about to go into diamond form. Most of the time, right? If she goes into diamond form, what is she going to do? She's not going to do this. She's going to come at you. So in human form, what is she looking for? The beam charge or a crystal grab. In diamond form, looking for melee. Looking to grab. So again, massively telegraphed. So not only is the character telegraphed, but the player that you're probably playing against is going to be telegraphed as well. Everybody has a way that they play, and it's up to you as a player. If you really want to climb to high ranks, and I mean seriously high ranks, you need to adapt to their play style. Every player has a play style, but the best players know how to change their play style if they get found out. Just like games like Tekken and Street Fighter, people that do better are ones that can be like, oh, that's not working, let me try something new. And then what happens if it does work? They'll just keep spamming the same exact thing over and over because it works, right? This is how people climb in this game. They spam over and over, and majority of the players that know how to counter the person spamming, like their play style, you'll just make them crumble and you auto win that match. So keep in mind, pay attention to how the player plays, pay attention to what form she's in. You will beat this character. It's not hard. I promise you. Now that we talked about just general stuff for Emma Frost, let's focus on the characters that are going to be best to go into her. So the Hulk is a great example. The reason why Hulk is a great character to go into her is because he can just block the dash. As soon as she gets ready to dash, again, very telegraphed. She could diamond form is going to be it. Just pop your shield. Boop. Easy. Yes, you can't play how you usually play with the Hulk. You know how you might want to go to the back line and go crazy. Yeah, you can't do that, okay? Whenever you want to become a great player at this game, you are going to have to adjust your play style based off picks in the game and based off how players are playing. You have to play more passive if you're playing against the Emma because you're waiting for her to mess up. After she's done, she just loses the fight. If she messes up, the fight's over. So that would be a good character for you to play into. Another good character is Groot, because what happens when she turns into diamond form? Put the wall up. She's gonna dash. As soon as she does it, she's gonna run into the wall and she misses. Very, very easy. You can also make it so that if you put it in a weird spot like this, she can't fit, and she's gonna try to dash this little crack and nothing's gonna happen. I see it happen all the time. It's hilarious. Another great counter is Venom. Simply put, as soon as you get grabbed and maybe their entire team is just doing damage to you, pop your overshield and just fly away. It's very easy for Venom to get out of all those situations. Captain is a pretty great character, but you have to be really good at Captain. I have so many hours into this character, I don't have a problem with playing Captain in the Emma, but what you're looking for is to dash when she turns into, you have to be really quick, but when she turns into diamond form, you need to be ready when she dashes, because when you dash, you get super armor. Your super armor lingers a lot longer than her dash does, so it's a little bit more forgiving for you. But this is what you can do to get away from not being grabbed by Emma if you are playing Cap into her. Magneto is the same way. As soon as she turns into diamond, again, very telegraphed. She's running at you, pop the bubble, and there you go. Now, of course, she can just walk up to you and fake it, so you got to be careful. Just walk back. Magneto, when he puts up his shield, doesn't get slower. When he fights, he doesn't get slower, so just walk back. You'll match her speed, and when she dashes, just be quick with it. She's not going to get you. I wouldn't recommend walking back like this, by the way. Walk back and round the corner into your team. Should she follow you to try to get you, she's gonna dash, pop the bubble. She's not gonna be able to do it. Another one is the Thing. So she can grab you, but what you wanna do is when she turns into diamond form, you just, as soon as she's getting ready to dash at you, or even if she doesn't dash at you, honestly, just do this. This lasts for as long as her form lasts. So you will not be snatched up. And then just, you're done. Now don't do it instantly, because I think hers is 8 seconds and this is 5. So don't do it instantly, but like obviously play the situation well. Count 2 seconds, or 3 seconds, I'm sorry. Whatever you need to do. And this, or just wait for the dash and boop, there you go. She can't snatch you out of this. Problem solved. That's pretty much it for the tanks. Any tank can play against her, obviously. You just have to be a lot more coordinated with how you play and a lot more patient in terms of how you play. But these characters, the one that I mentioned, are the good ones in terms of you can still play how you want to play and not feel like you have to play more reserved because of the character that's picked. You could still kind of play how you want to play and just react to Emma. Now, when it comes to DPS, this one's a little bit different because most of the roster does not need to get close to her, but there are a few characters that do. So when we're talking about something like Spider-Man, when we're talking about something like Black Panther, when we're talking about something like Star-Lord, like these characters kind of need to get close, but I think that Star-Lord is a great character should you want to play up close, because obviously when she goes into her form, just flip out and she can't snatch you up. He also has super armor when he does it. When you're playing something like Spider-Man, again, it's just about timing. She cannot snatch you quickly. She only snatches you because you're slow. Go in with the mindset of just popping quickly and dipping out. There's no human that can react to that quick enough. The only way you get caught as Spider-Man is if you commit and you're like you're like, okay, I'm gonna punch, okay, like you're committing. Don't commit. Just keep bouncing around, you know, playing around, keep baiting, and that's it. You don't even do this. That sticks you. Don't even do this. This sticks you, she can grab you. Wait, just play smooth, play fast. Just get in there, do some stuff. Boom, bam. Once she uses her form, then you can play a little bit more in there. The form cooldown is pretty long, so you have enough time to play and get some KOs that way. With Black Panther, it's gonna be the same exact way. You're just going in there. You're not really looking to just straight up constantly fight. You're gonna get grabbed. You gotta be quick, you gotta be fast, just dip out. I would not recommend going in and doing this because this move stalls you. You will get grabbed and it's very easy to snatch you out of that. But when you're doing something like this, it's a little bit harder for her to get to you because she has to turn into the form to then get you. Honestly, even if you do go down and you do this, it still takes a minute because she's gonna have to turn into diamond form and then look for you and then snatch you. The problem to these characters on why people get caught too much is because they are committing. Do not commit when you're playing against this character when you're playing DPS. If you're playing other things that can space, then just space out, outspace you and you're fine. But if you're playing things that require more close engagements, don't commit. Just wait for it and you'll be fine. Because if she's gonna just save diamond form for you, you just automatically win. You're literally saying, hey, Emma, you're gonna use it on me? All right. Either you just keep going in and being a pest and running away, or she's just not using half of her kit the entire game, in which case your team automatically wins anyway. So trust, be patient, be patient. Iron Fist, easy. All you gotta do is just counter her grab, boom. She can't snatch you out of that. You have super armor. Easy, easy. All these characters have so many ways to not get snatched up by her, it's insane. So again, when DPS, space out. And if you have to play something that's a little bit more close range, then you're gonna need to bait things out, be a little bit more smooth and quick. Obviously, things like Iron Man and Storm can get snatched out of the sky, but if you get snatched out by an Emma, it's because you're too close anyway. Space yourself out. Last but not least, when we're talking about the healers, it's a little bit more rough because you are gonna find yourself in really crappy situations sometimes because you're looking to heal other people that might be in a very bad spot. So sometimes it's unavoidable. The best thing you wanna do is play characters like Loki. Simple fact is that as soon as she's getting ready to go into diamond and run at you, snap away, you're chilling. Rocket's the same way. As soon as she goes into diamond form, dip out. She's not gonna be able to snatch you. You can even let her get close to you and just boop, go sideways. You're free. She'll just whiff the grab. Invisible Woman the same way. As soon as she comes to get you, I would hop over her. That way she can't like follow you down, but really just hop anywhere and she will whiff it. A lot of these characters that are support actually have great ways to get away from her, except something like Mantis. But even then, as long as you don't take damage, you're actually faster than she is. So she can't catch you anyway, just space out. Luna, a little bit different, but again, we talked about it. Just try to sidestep if you can. Cool part about Luna is that you can just kind of sidestep like this, problem solved, right? And if you want to turn, and I mean you want a fast turn without doing this, you can just kind of jump and you'll be able to just go back like that, right? You can even wait for a little bit lower and then flip at the end, so that way you can retain your speed. But for the most part, the only one that has trouble with Emma is going to be Adam, just because there's not really a way for you to get away. He is pretty quick in terms of sidestepping like the rest of the supports. So, you know, just distance yourself and sidestep to grab. But for the most part, he is still slower than Luna and Mantis because there's not really anything he can do. So in that regard, you really just need to space better when playing him. But the other characters don't really have that much issue. At the end of the day, this character is not that hard to deal with. She's just good at abusing you, making mistakes. Minimize your mistakes, think about how you're playing against her, and you're not gonna have trouble with it. As I said before, a lot of the times people have trouble with this character is because most of the players are just generally used to brute forcing how they play. That's just how the game is designed. It's very fast paced and everybody likes to button mash and brute force. But when you're going against characters that can take advantage of that, you're gonna end up being KO'd a lot. And I mean a lot, to the point where you think that your character sucks or you think that that character is broken, and neither are true. You need to slow your gameplay down and play more conservative, play more passive, read the situation. I promise you, you will not be having problems with this character ever again. I also want to mention the ultimate, by the way. It's just as similar as the beam. Hide behind the wall, and just like the beam from her hand in the same location, it doesn't work. So we can give you kind of like a brief example here. If we just summon somebody just real quick before we close out. You see? Same thing here. See? So just keep that in mind as well. But that is it. If you guys have any questions, of course, let me know in the comments below. If you guys want to see other characters, maybe like how do you counter specific characters, I can do more characters. I don't mind. I just wanted to do Emma because people have been having a lot of trouble with this character in my streams, in my Discord on Reddit, in their Discord on Twitter. And I'm like, it's not that bad. So I hope my goal is met. Even if you guys can't 100% counter Emma, hopefully you have an easier time dealing with Emma, because that is the main purpose. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, and you know what I always say, thank you guys for doing what? Popping often with Lofton.